Hi Taurus, welcome to your mid-April tarot scope and horoscope, and happy birthday to all the lovely Taurus April born. I hope you're going to have a wonderful birthday. I know that it is an unusual time to be alive, but it is quite amazing to live through the great reset of the 21st century, don't you think? So that new moon in your sign is riddled with transformational energy. It's riddled with anarchy. It's riddled with a desire to restructure everything, to consider where our connections with the world, with others, are sacrificed by our materialistic side. And oftentimes one of the great lessons that Taurus people need to learn in life is to let go a little of the things that actually weigh them down, the things that look good and they look shiny, but they're actually weighing you down on the next step. It's all about learning to travel light and to let go of a few things that are taking up unnecessary space that you never metaphorically or literally wear, that have holes in them, that are dusty, that are ruined, that are soaked in whatever. This is the time to cast a few things away. New moons are all about new starts, and oftentimes you can get very nervous about change, particularly a change to your routine, which is why oftentimes Taurus will burn out, because they want to keep everything going. They want to keep everything in the same loop. It takes you a lot before you realize that something is not working and it's gotta go. The World and the Three of Swords. Your heart really is with those that are suffering, Taurus. It really is. And a lot of you are separated from people that you really, really, really love, that you really care about. The third party in the Three of Swords, most likely at the minute, is the coronavirus, let's be honest. And this is very much feeling things on a humanitarian level. For some of you, the need to contribute to humanitarian causes is strong. For some of you, the need to help people is strong. I think for most of you, those are strong issues. I'm pretty certain that, Taurus, you're going to be one of the signs that really comes through for the people that need it most, be it in your personal life, be it on a neighborhood level, be it on a country level, be it on a worldwide level. I think you're going to be one of the signs that really comes through. I do think for most of you, you are feeling very separated from a person, people, or a goal, some kind of goal that you were really looking forward to getting to the finish line for. Sun conjunct Uranus in your sign on the 26th, right after Pluto goes retrograde in Capricorn, your sector of globalization. You're revisiting some endings. You're revisiting the way something used to be. Very nostalgic. Possibly longing for someone, be it maybe a fixed sign, who really, really, really broke your heart. Seven of Swords. For some of you, the loop of unfortunate circumstances in romance has been going for a while. For some of you, the misunderstandings in your partnerships have been going for a while, or you feel very misunderstood at the minute. And as we lead into your season, you're hoping that it will lift, and it will. Venus in Gemini is pretty good for you. It's going to retrograde next month, and it's going to show you, Taurus, where you could value yourself a little bit higher and tap into your magic, the Magician, Gemini energy. It will reorganize your thoughts, particularly if it's romantic, also if it's financial. You're feeling, as I said, quite misunderstood by people in the second half of April. You're feeling a little bit separated, a little bit isolated, but what could you do to bridge that gap? And do you want to bridge that gap? That's the most important question. Is this a misunderstanding you want to sort out? Do you want victory? Do you want peace? Your actions will determine the next step of this. particularly if you're dealing with a Gemini. Ooh, Judgment and the Page of Pentacles. You will be tempted, leading into your season, Taurus, to sort some issue out with pettiness. You don't have to do that, but you will be tempted. You don't have to do it. Saturn and Pluto that went conjunct at the start of the year promised you that they would completely shift your consciousness, your philosophies, your higher self. They're going to completely reorganize the way that you think, as I said, but that's if you allow it. You will be tempted, Taurus, to settle back into your old ways regardless, and it will feel very chaotic if you do. Jupiter conjunct Pluto in that side of the sky at the beginning of the month will expand and expand and expand and expand the thing that you need to see the most, the truth that you need to see the most, the idea. You're very, very magnetic leading into your season. You're very, very, very full of magic, full of intention, full of synchronicities. The things that you can make happen are vast categories, but you have to tap into that energy. You can so easily get caught up in the nope, not going to do it, I'm right about this, I'm going to keep it this way, they have to do it this way, that's the way it's got to be, especially if it's a Gemini or a Scorpio. You're just thinking, nope, they have to do this, they have to apologize, they have to make this happen. But what about, Taurus, if I told you that if you cling too tightly to the way you think it should be, it will all fall to pieces? Bend a little, please. The Sun conjunct Uranus is going to make you willing to see things a bit differently, to revolutionize the way that you hold yourself in battle, the way that you hold yourself in your romance. The crown, as you can see in the Tower, comes right off the top when it crumbles. So be careful, because pride comes before a fall. Knight of Wands. And it will be so much more fun if you just bend a little bit and you just open your mind a little bit. If it's a fire sign, they admire you a lot. If it's a Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, they admire you a lot. They admire you a lot. They see your potential, they see your worth, they see your value, they see that you have a lot of resources, you're very stable, you're very sure in many ways, but Taurus, they feel that what they have to offer cannot possibly compare. And they too have pride. Especially if it's a Leo, they have a lot of pride. You're very likely to hear from somebody in the last half of April, possibly wishing you a happy birthday, someone who was very flighty, a lot of fun, but came in and out of your life and was not reliable. You're likely to hear from them, and I think it's possibly one of the reasons why when you get into May time, you feel a lot more sure of yourself, because you know that you were not the problem. And if you can be patient with someone and understanding of someone who's not completely up to scratch, but they're really trying, you will have a lot more pleasure in your season. If you are patient with people that you work with, if you are helpful, if you are kind, if you are like a mentor to them, you will be greatly financially rewarded, because it will spread around. If you stick to your principles on what it is that you desire, not principles based on pride, there is a difference. If you stick to the principles you desire in a certain situation and what you really, really want for yourself, because it's healthy, because it's structured, because it's stable, that will come to you. As I said, you have great powers of manifestation going into your season. Don't waste them. Don't waste them on smaller energies. Because you're a King of Pentacles, you're not a Page. Don't waste them on smaller energies where you just have to be right. It's not about being right, it's about being in the right mind frame. Particularly in work. Abundance is clear going into your season. You've worked very hard. You're going to see success. You're going to see some kind of revisiting of a contract. If it's a legal matter that you've been very concerned about, it's going to go in your favor. At least it's going to go in the favor of justice. and where you've been worried about being alone for the rest of your life and it's been incredibly painful, you're going to start to see a glimmer of hope that your prospective partner will come in. Possibly a Scorpio, maybe, or a Virgo. Somebody wants to give you what they can. If you would just see it. Of course, if it's a fire sign that hurt you very, 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 very badly because they, in the past, because they were in a certain life arena, I do think you possibly get some retribution there, possibly some conclusion. But I think a lot of you going into your season are going in with more stable, long-term prospects, as 2020 is supposed to be. And if it's with another earth sign that you're dating and it's casual at the minute and you're wondering how it's going to go, it will either go nowhere or very long-term. There will be no in-between. Because those that are in the Page of Pentacles energy will be towered out. Make sure that you're not picking partners based on pride. Make sure that you're not picking them based on how much they earn or how attractive they are. It's more to do about what they have to offer you. I know that financial matters to Taurus, but it's more about what they have to offer you in terms of love. Those of you that pick Page of Pentacles, where they look very good, they talk a good game, they talk a good story, but they don't pay off, pride will come before a fall. Those of you that pick people that are humble, but you see their efforts, you see that they're trying, that will go very well. You have a choice. And in terms of conflicts in your relationships, you also have a choice to be the page or be the king. But I would suggest going back to the books on manifesting who you are. Deciding what type of person you want to be, what type of life you want to go back to or come into. Call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. Protection. Awakening. Energetic upgrades, a new way of being. And Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. So you are going through a bit of an awakening, Taurus. And what's beautiful about that is that you're protected in doing so. I think you're starting to see that maybe you have required a perspective shift in order to get this hand that you so badly want. I mean, who wouldn't be happy with this? 10 of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Hierophant. It's your energy all over it. You're upgrading your energy. I like it. I like it a lot. And you're calling back your power too. Forgiveness. On point. Forgiveness and dating. For some of you, yes, that were worried about no sign of love, there is something that gives you hope. Look, even love underneath. Something that gives you hope. And for a lot of you, it requires you to forgive yourself for your past mistakes. For others of you, it requires you to forgive a person for their shortcomings. And I'm not saying forgive someone who really wronged you. I'm just saying this is forgiveness in relationships where there's been bickering or misunderstandings. The way that you approach dating, even if it's very tricky at the moment, if you think about it, it's actually a great time to date somebody new. And hear me out. Hear me out. Because it takes time to converse with a person, to have nothing but conversation, and to get to know a person quite well via the phone, via email, whatever it is, to talk for a long time. And I know that that's not knowing a person completely. A lot of romantic interactions are to do with body language, but you can still do that in FaceTime, I suppose, to an extent. But it gives you a clear picture of what it is that you want from a person, what it is that you expect in dating, red flags that you must not ignore. You could do with revising the red flags you've ignored on a regular basis, Taurus. And that goes for work, that goes for personal interactions, family interactions, romantic interactions, whatever it is. I think that there is an element of forgiving yourself for what you've ignored. but you're getting your power back, and I think that's very necessary. So I will see you in May, Taurus, for the rest of your season, the Venus going retrograde special. It's going to be big, as if you thought this year wasn't already jam-packed with astrological unusual activity. Venus is going to go retrograde, so is Mars at the end of the year, so stay tuned. We're going to be together every step of the way. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next set of readings. Bye, Taurus.